The average woman sees more blood in her lifetime than the average man. Ygritte, why would a girl see blood and collapse? Jon Snow, all girls are like you. Ygritte, well, girls see more blood than boys. The comment section is definitely weird, but like I am enjoying it, lol. By having 2 arms, statistically, I am above average. Are we counting only human blood? Just don't tell Jon Snow that women have seen blood. I find it humorous when there's nurses at a medical setting that can handle blood. Like I get it's way more than usual, but still XD, like some of us staff can handle shit, vomit. But blood? Oh well. Legitimately, I've thought when taking my menstrual cup out that I don't think men understand the volume of blood we are used to just washing down the sink. This is a great reminder of the things that women experience regularly that often go unnoticed. The conversation about blood and menstruation can definitely be a bit awkward or surprising for some, but it's all part of the natural and normal aspects of life. It's important to approach these topics with understanding and respect. Does this include virtual blood? Makes sense since more women than men work in hospitals. The most feared blood is the least violent. It's a historical quote, but I have no idea who said it. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Especially since I almost constantly have open wounds. Wrong. I've convinced the entire male population of Kazakhstan to stab themselves in the balls twice a month. Therefore doubling the rate at which most women will see blood. Checkmate, liberal. Seems like some folks might need a refresher on basic human biology. Periods are just part of life, and there's nothing gross about it. But hey, if they can't handle that, it's their loss. Yes, I saw Game of Thrones as well. Where the fuck is Menzies George when you need him? Blood doesn't like women as much as men and tries to escape from them more. BC, we're serial killers. Not with that attitude. Especially if you're a type 1 diabetic woman, LMAO. Try usually have to see and deal with more shit also. Would suck if you faint when you see blood. Well, yeah, after a certain point they bleed every month. Well, for women it's natural and men should get used to seeing that as well. If men are seeing blood, it's most likely an emergency and there will be trauma involved. Probably experiences more pain and more work too. And the average man sees more nut? I was gonna make a WW1 joke, but then I remembered women served as nurses, so yeah. I mean, no shit, right? This is one reason why I think more women become nurses. They already have more familiarity with bodily fluids. I shit blood constantly. Checkmate. But what about the guts and guns? I suppose there are more women who work in hospitals than men butchers in the world. Unfortunately, that all depends on one's lifestyle. Not me. I'm an axe murderer. Maybe more often. But I did work in a slaughterhouse one summer. And I became a little desensitized to blood. This is very shower thoughty. Could be right or not, depending on which blood or circumstances. I'm single-handedly changing that statistic. Why no, I wanted to make a joke about laziness and serial killing, but then it hit me. A guy could be a butcher for a living and see more blood without the need for murder. But that'd be less fun. It's not like you really have time to figure out who those men are. This really makes you rethink the little things, doesn't it? Sometimes the most mundane thoughts can be the deepest. Sometimes I wonder if shower thoughts are just our brains trying to escape reality for a few minutes of peace. The best ideas come when we're not trying too hard to find them. Today I learned I am far from the average man. Yes. You've not thought this through. I don't get grossed out by anybody's blood but my own. I'm no average man, Jim. Blood makes the grass grow. Ooh-rah. I have no idea how the myth that women faint at the sight of blood was so popular back in the day. Did they now know about periods or something? Butchers and surgeons see it more than anyone else. I'd be curious what the averages would look like during the World Wars. This was probably not true before like 50 years ago TBF. Phew, good thing I'm not the average man. Well, I guess it also depends on how shitty you are at shaving. Even men in the military? I must get that on a t-shirt for the next mostly peaceful protest. TSK soldiers of the past are now rolling in their graves. They lament that men have grown soft and cowardly just in case it wasn't obvious lol. And most of it is in her pants. Every woman sees more blood in her lifetime than the average man. We talking quantity or quality? It's probably correct, though I bet the ratios are closer than most people are imagining, based on factors like workplace injuries or warfare. Definitely not stuff experienced by the average man every day, but it tips the scales a little. Bloody Mary is an outlier and should not have been included. I'm terrified of a creature that bleeds that much and doesn't die. People who menstruate see more blood and a fuckton more blood clots than most men. Probably not, the average would likely be skewed heavily towards men due to warfare. Well no duh, when you bleed every month you tend to see a lot of blood. This shower thought gets me thinking. Women bleed every so often on their own, yet men on average bleed more from injuries. More women work in hospitals, however more men fight in wars have been way before hospitals were a thing. This shower thought kinda reminds me of the wheels versus doors debate after thinking on it to some extent. Not if you're Russian. I'd say the amount of times I've slit my wrists probably adds up to a monthly period. I see a lot of blood all at once when I donate. I have a feeling war might offset this. A few million men seeing unimaginable amounts of blood raises the average a lot. And this is why men find period blood disgusting. We only see blood when it's related to pain and injuries. Women see it for 1/4 of their life. What about the sperm cramps? It's true I started shaving after girls my age started menstruating, but I still see my own blood more than twice a month and I doubt the average man is better at shaving than me, but maybe someone in the comments will prove me wrong. She also has more orgasms in her sleep. Coincidence? I wonder how true this is. Maybe the number of times is more often, but volume of blood total. I wonder. Maybe IRL, else not really. IDK a lot of male soldiers in history. The number and amount of blood they saw might balance it out. Abattoir workers are predominantly male. The cattle have on average 15 kilograms of blood. Sorry I lost interest here, but on the average if it's just blood in general then likely untrue, especially if we take into account cattle, fish, chickens, pigs, deer, goat, etc. Then put in police, ambulance, surgeons, boxers, extreme sports people, soldiers, pathologists, steam cell technicians, etc. You get the gist. Another shower thought is that millions of women throw their sanitary cast-offs in the regular trash every day, but every medical facility, doctor, whatever has to dispose of even a single drop in a biohazard container to be disposed of in specialized struck me as odd. Don't trust anything that bleeds for 3 days and doesn't die. Mr. Garrison. Average man see more cum.